Hello class, we're ready to start our third lesson in Module 2, and it's going to be about absolute value, all right? So we will be able to understand and determine the absolute value of a number, all right? But first I have to make sure we're really clear on opposites. So we did this yesterday, okay? And it talks about some other notations of how you might see opposites. So we're going to look at that first. So this right here can be read and is read as the opposite of 21. So that negative sign, it's saying the outside the parentheses, it's saying the opposite of whatever's inside. And we know the opposite of 21 is negative 21. All right? Go ahead, look at number 2. It says that this negative sign right outside the parentheses, it's saying the opposite of whatever's inside the parentheses. So in this case, the opposite of negative 4. Okay? We know the opposite of negative 4 is just 4. All right? Try 3 and 4. Pause it, try it. All right? So this one can be read as the opposite of negative 7. And the opposite of negative 7 is just 7. And how would you express this? Well, we want the opposite, so we know there's a minus sign or a negative sign of negative 5. Okay? And this would be equal to what? 5. All right? This one is kind of weird. It's saying the opposite of negative 3. So if we think about it right here, the opposite of negative 3 is 3. And then the opposite of 3 is negative 3. Okay? So we should be super clear on positives. And then we're ready to go into absolute value. So you might be wondering, what is this absolute value? Okay? So the absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. The distance a number is from 0. So make sure that is written in your notes. That's very important. The symbol, it's going to be these two vertical lines, okay, with a number in between. And that's what will represent absolute value, okay? So an example of this might be the absolute value of 5, okay? Well, 5, I know, is 5 spaces from 0, so the absolute value of 5 is 5. Modeling. Let's do the absolute value of negative 3. Let's model that. Okay, so that means I'm going to need a number line to model. In this unit, modeling on number lines is our thing. I'm going to put 0. I want you to fill in the rest of the number line for me. So I filled in my number line. I've put 0, and to the right goes the positive, so 1, 2, 3, and to the left goes my negative. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, if I'm modeling the absolute value of negative 3, I have to put a point at negative 3. Okay, and you will be asked to do this, so make sure you're paying attention. Put a point at negative 3. And I need to model its distance from 0. So it's 1, 2, 3. Put an arrow. Okay, this is my best arrow. All right, and it's 3 spaces away. So that means the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try 1 through 6. Now that you've tried 1 through 6, let's check our answers. So if I'm at negative 7, I'm way over here. How do I get to 0? Well, it takes me 7 spaces, so it's 7 away from 0. I'm going to keep going down. I'll get to 2, 4, and 6 later. 14, I'm way over here. How do I get to 0? Well, it takes me 14 spaces. So 14. Okay? Looking at this one. Absolute value of 5 is 5, like we said earlier. Absolute value of negative 6 it's 6 spaces away, so it's 6. I keep that times sign, and you'll sometimes see it as like a little dot. That's okay. That just means times. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, and I'm all done. So number 2, 0, it's 0 spaces away from 0, so its absolute value is 0. -7, it's 7 spaces away from 0. And 3, it's 3 spaces away from 0. Okay, notice absolute value is always positive because it's measuring distance. Absolute value is always positive. Let's make ourselves a note. It's always positive because it's measuring a distance. Okay, back to the 7 minus 3 equals 4. Okay, and this one's a little tricky. What integers have the absolute value of 12? So that means I have to look at a number line, and if I gotta put it right there. So I'm having a little trouble writing this below, so I have to write it above. So I have 0 right here. It's asking, where am I going to get if I go 12 spaces to the left and if I go 12 spaces to the right? Well, I'm going to hit -12 and +12. So that's my answer. -12 and +12. They are both 12 away from 0. Okay, we will practice more tomorrow. Have a great day.